Welcome to the Best 5 Minute Wine Podcast with Forrest Kelly.
Any future plans to be a master som?
I think I will eventually go back and finish the diploma through WSET. It just depends on when I'm going to have time to do that. We just got into a year at the wine bar. I never worked in a restaurant prior, which probably would have helped a little bit in this journey over this past year. So it's really like boots on the ground learning. I'm like, from the streets, just learning every day different things about restaurants, operations, wine, just things about me as a person, as a business owner, how I want to be, how to lead a staff. That was new. So I think once we get into a flow, then I'll be able to sit back and get back into the actual studying just because I love it. But I have, a dreamer, so I have big plans for the business and how to grow it and scale it.
I've never been to Myrtle Beach on 9th. Is it like a typical beach where you've got the boardwalk kind of thing? Can you set the scene of what 9th looks like?
So it's not quite like San Diego or Southern California. Okay. There is a boardwalk, but it's not as active as it is in California, where you have houses on there and a lot of restaurants along there. It's more of kind of like a walking area. There are some restaurants along it, but definitely a family beach, a small town at its core. So it's not very big. It is growing rapidly, but at its core, it's still a very small town. So you do have a boardwalk, you do have a beach. Downtown used to be thriving in its heyday, which is why people came here. And then at one point, it kind of went a little south. People weren't coming downtown anymore. It got a little dangerous. So now they're in the process of revitalizing downtown and kind of giving it a second life. And that's where the 9th Avenue and where I am comes in.
So you had this idea with COVID kind of inspiring this to do this. How did you meet up with your business partner, Jamie?
So Jamie and I met years ago as neighbors. She had moved into my neighborhood maybe 6 months to a year after I had moved in, and we just had randomly met throughout the neighborhood and became friends. We were friends for a long time. And she and her family own Johnny D's Waffles and Bakery. And so there's 3 of them, and her dad moved it from New York to Myrtle Beach, and the family owns and operates all of those. When I got ready to do this, I was doing investor meetings, and she had mentioned she had some money that she was looking to invest somewhere, and I showed her my business plan and my numbers for the 3 to 5 years and where I thought it could go, and she was interested and decided to invest in it.
So were you secretly kind of thinking I could align myself with her? Because that's a big step. A lot of people don't realize how many dimensions there are personality-wise where it's like, oh man, that's a deal breaker. I couldn't do business with them because they don't take customer service, to the level that I do. And I mean, I'm talking about me personally because I'm all about the customer. And somebody walks into my business, eye contact immediately with somebody in the staff and welcome, thank you. So had you kind of vetted her from afar, or as you're doing your activities together?
Yeah, a little bit. So her business is very much like that. People love it. They come in, they touch on every table. People go through and talk to everybody, and very comfortable. She's very personable. People love her. She's on TV a lot locally, so people feel like they know her before they know her, which is important. She's very approachable and very kind. So I knew as a human she would be great. I had tried a ton of different investor meetings, if I'm going to be honest, because I was trying not to do a family or friend, just because I was worried if something were to happen, if it didn't go right. That's still a friendship I value. But it turns out the investor meetings were not all they were cracked up to be. A lot of people didn't take me very seriously, and I can understand a little bit why. I mean, I didn't have a background in this. This was something that was new for me, regardless of how organized and prepared I was. I don't think a lot of people took me seriously. So at one point I went back to her and said, if you're still looking to invest, I would very much like to sit down and speak with you about it. And we work very well together. We're polar opposites. She's very much a chef and back of the house kind of girl. And I'm very much hospitality. Let me make everything wonderful. We're going to make this the best day ever kind of girl. So we balance each other very well. And so working with her has been very easy.
The Best 5 Minute Wine Podcast.
Don't forget my favorite part.
Oh, please like and follow.
And you can like and follow us on our social media and join in our collaborations. Just like our website, thebestwinepodcast.com, on Insta, X, you know where. The Best Wine Pod. The Best Wine Pod.
Oh.